Hey, friends, and welcome back to Dating After 50 with Robin and Julie. I'm Robin, and once again, I'm flying solo today, but I promise this episode will feel like we're having a deep, real conversation over coffee or wine, depending on your vibe. In the last episode, we talked about leveling up our standards, letting go of old patterns, and learning how to say no to what doesn't serve us anymore. And if you missed that one, definitely go back and listen. It sets the foundation for where we're headed today because today we're talking about green flags, that the good stuff. And yes, this feels safe and right energy. The qualities that show someone is emotionally healthy, available, and ready for connection, not just companionship. And here's the twist. Sometimes, when we've had our hearts broken or spent years dating people who didn't meet our standards, green flags can feel, well, unfamiliar and even boring at first. So, today we're going to shift that and I'm going to walk you through the key green flags to look for when dating after 50. Why do they matter? And how to train your nervous system to recognize healthy love as something exciting, not scary or suspicious. Let's go. So let's start with a truth bomb. Most of us have been conditioned to recognize red flags faster than green ones. We see the signs of love bombing, hot and cold behavior, breadcrumbing, and we've gotten good at identifying those, and sometimes it's a little too late. But when someone actually shows up in a consistent, grounded way, it can feel foreign. You might even hear yourself saying, "He's too available. Is that weird? She texts every morning. Is that needy? He doesn't play games. I'm not used to this." And here's the thing, if dysfunction was your baseline, then calm can feel like chaos. But I want you to know green flags are where the gold is. That's where the healthy love lives, and that's where safety, connection, and joy begin. So let me tell you about someone I dated a few years ago. Let's call him Mark. Mark wasn't flashy. He didn't sweep me off my feet with poetic texts or grand gestures or gifts, but do you know what he did? He called when he said he would. He showed up on time. He asked questions about my life and remembered the answers. When I shared something vulnerable, he didn't flinch, he leaned in. And you know what happened? I almost talked myself out of it. I remember thinking, "Oh, this is nice, but where's the spark? Where's the edge?" Well, that was my nervous system reacting to something unfamiliar, and that's called stability. And eventually, I realized that spark doesn't have to come from chaos. It can come from safety, mutual respect, and emotional presence. So if you're like me and you're still recalibrating what love should feel like, that's okay. Green flags may not give you a dopamine rush right away, but they will give you something deeper: peace. So let's break down some of the most powerful green flags, the kind of stuff that feels subtle at first, but is actually game changing. Here's the number one: consistency. They show up the same way over time. Their energy doesn't spike or crash. You don't wonder if they'll disappear. And you know what? At this age, that's pretty damn sexy. Direct communication. Oh, be still, my heart. They don't play games. They say what they mean. If they like you, you know it. If they can't make plans, they tell you. They don't ghost you. Emotional availability. Hey, like, what is that? Well, this is what it is. They can talk about feelings. They ask how you are emotionally, not just physically, and they're not afraid of real intimacy. Curiosity. They genuinely want to get to know you, not just your past, but your present dreams, your values, and your quirks. They don't talk at you, they talk with you. Healthy boundaries. They have their own life, they respect yours, they don't try to rush in and take over. Instead, they want to walk with you, not ahead of you. Kindness, and I mean real kindness, not just towards you, but to servers, to strangers, to exes. Pay attention to how they treat people. They don't need to impress. Accountability, they can admit when they're wrong. They don't gaslight, deflect, or blame everyone else for their past relationships. They own their stuff. Shared values. You don't have to agree on everything, but the big stuff like honesty, family integrity, make sure that's aligned. They that makes everything easier. They celebrate your wins. They're not intimidated by your success, your independence, or your growth. They cheer for you without competition. And most important, you feel calm when you're with them. Your nervous system relaxes. You feel safe. You're not performing, you can just be. So let's pause for a second and do a little self check. When was the last time someone made you feel emotionally safe? How did your body react to that kind of connection? Did you lean in or did you pull away? Sometimes we reject green flags because our bodies are wired for intensity. And that's why part of this work is not just recognizing green flags, it's receiving them. So that might look like taking a few deep breaths when someone texts you back immediately instead of spiraling, letting yourself trust someone even if they don't give you butterflies yet, reminding yourself that safe is sexy, available is attractive. So here's your gentle dating assignment for this week, if you're game. Start collecting green flags, not just in romantic prospects, but in friendships, coworkers, even strangers. Notice who listens, who follows through, who holds space for you, and train your brain to spot the good. Believe me, it's science. The more you spot the good, the more good will come. Write your own green flag list. Make it personal. What makes you feel loved and grounded? And what traits are you ready to prioritize? And if you're dating right now, maybe on the apps or through friends, start conversations with curiosity. Ask questions that reveal green flags, not just surface level stuff. Try asking, how do you handle conflict? And what's something you're proud of yourself recently? And what's a perfect Sunday look like for you? You'll be amazed how quickly green flags show up when you're looking for them. All right, my friends, that's it for this episode. And here's your reminder, you're allowed to want calm, consistent, grounded love. You're allowed to feel safe, and you're allowed to receive more than you've ever had. Green flags are real, and after 50, we don't chase chaos, we choose clarity. If this episode made you feel seen or inspired, please let me know. Email me or leave me a review to help others find this podcast. I love hearing your stories and your wins. They remind me why we're doing this work. And next time, we'll talk about something just as juicy, dating red flags that don't look like red flags at first. Oh gosh, that's going to be a good one. So until then, keep your heart open, your standards high, and your intuition sharp. This is Robin, and you have been listening to Dating After 50 with Robin and Julie. We'll talk soon.